What is going on, traders? Y'all are spending Friday night with Avery Day Trading. I am not letting you become an inconsistent day trader. We're pumped, baby. Having a little bourbon on this Friday night. You can't drink and trade, you know. I assess that. I try to figure out, is this a good idea? You know, should I wake up and just start drinking and trading? Probably not, because you become a little intolerant to the risk. When I've been trying to focus on having no trading errors, let's point that out. But consistency, I posted this. You guys listen. Consistency is derived from learning more about the... See, a little buzzed, as you guys can tell. Is derived from learning more about the market? No! Consistency is achieved when you learn more about yourself and master yourself. Truly embrace a risk, which implies more things can happen than will happen. I need to shut this music off. More things can happen than will happen. I'll at least have the headphones on, though. It tunes out any screaming I hear in the background. I'm just kidding. My wife's got the kids. She's got it controlled. All right, so let's go over some plays from this week, from today. Thankfully, guys, today ended up green. Over 3Q, $66. So, the small account challenge, here we are. I mean, I'm nearly break even with this account. I'm pretty much only red with fees, commissions, software, yada, yada. I'm feeling pretty good. And the fact that I just made the adjustment this past week of pressing the accelerator when we are seeing green. So the title of this video is, I'm not going to let you guys be inconsistent. I feel very strongly about that. Those that are in here that are wanting to be day traders, I'm going to create the blueprint. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make sure you guys are consistent based on everything that I've researched and looked at and done and the experience. I've always said experience is your best teacher. Experience is the best teacher over time when trading. But something that is very interesting, you guys need to make note of, is it's not technicals. So many traders get involved and they think, oh my God, if only I could have recognized that this was a bull flag, that this was a head and shoulders, that this was whatever. It doesn't freaking matter. It doesn't freaking matter. Let me whisper it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's so many variables when trading. There's so many nuances. There's so many additional traders involved in the ticker. This ticker may have a more of a short interest on it. Every single trade is different. That's the point I want to make. Every trade is different. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you guys this, because I don't want you to blow up your account, because I can remember many times I've blown up my account based on certain things, such as what I'm trying to preach to you right now. I remember NCTY. I don't even know if this was a ticker, if this is still a ticker, NCTY. Okay, $13. Let me look. I mean, this was so long ago. I don't even recall. I can't. This is probably 5 years ago. But this one ticker, I traded on the short, long side, because it was an inverse head and shoulders that I recognized. And I thought, dude, I know more than anybody out there. I recognize a pattern. A pattern. Oh my God, a pattern. I'm getting involved with this ticker. I see a plus setup, pocket pair aces, baby, all in. Honey, mortgage the house. Refinance. Guys, pattern recognition is like the basics. I mean, honestly, I know that's what I'm telling you guys, if you listen, this is not popular, but if you listen and take this in, this is going to be beneficial to you. The technicals are highly important. Okay, back in the 70s, like, fundamentals were everything, because nobody had personal computers and we're trading in the 70s. So fundamentals pretty much everything. But then you got more into technicals and then emotions. Human behavior never necessarily changes in the market. So you get into the emotional side of things, like Muhammad and I, MG, traded QNTM, which came out with good earnings, or essentially good financial statements. But, when something's good, don't always, everything's good. Every PREC is good, right? Every PREC is good. So you got to filter through it. But I blew up an account trading NCTY on the long side, but essentially leveraging all in on this play that was a bullish pattern that didn't work out because I didn't understand that essentially I didn't understand the risk involved. So you have to accept the risk. So let me read something to you guys. There is a huge psychological gap between assuming you are a risk taker, because you put on trades. Okay, so it's like, okay, we're day traders, right? We put on trades. All right, we put on trades, so we're a risk taker. Not necessarily, right? You just kind of assume that, but you have to fully understand and accept that the risk, because that will have a profound implication on your bottom line performance when you fully accept the risk. So, what do I mean by fully accepting the risk? That essentially means risk means more things can happen than will happen. So today, let me see. I took a trade. I'm up $66 on the day. I took a couple let me look at my trades. $8 minus $8 there, minus $6 there, minus $6 there, then plus 10, plus 27, plus 47. Yeah. So Kevon in the house, wish you had my hairline. Are you getting that receding hairline into the 30s? That ain't fun. Mr. George, great day so far. What'd you trade? Let me know. And MG had your best day. Posted about it. MG had his best day on QNTM. Smashing it. So QNTM, I ain't going to complain too much here. What I will say with QNTM is I tried to, I pressed the wrong button. MG. Pressed the wrong button. So this thing, elevator down off of 11. Let's look at the 5-minute time frame. It did crack that trend and went down to like 10. I took it all at 1050 when I meant to scale out half. I pressed the wrong button, so that was painful. Took half at 1050, or took all the position at 1050. God, yeah, that one's still bugging me. So today should have been a massive day. Even though I'm up 3Q, I'm happy with it because of the rule adjustment where I'm not just stopping at small profits. We're still gonna work our signals, and since I've been doing this for long enough, I know what the signals are, and I trust myself not to overtrade. Like, I'm not trading random signals. I've been doing this long enough to recognize the signals. Jesus. All right, Kayvon, I took CNXC off of the 200-day. I'm going to show you that because I want to make sure you're well aware of this trade. So, God bless it. This was a beautiful hangover, CNXC. Please check it out in the description below if you haven't already. CNXC. Guys, is it ever possible to be like fully content as a day trader? Ever? I'm up 3Q, so I got to be content with it. But guys, this is a bread and butter hangover setup, CNXC, and it dropped 10 points. 64, nearly 65 down to 54. So, if you're in a measly 20 shares on $10, 10 points, that's $200. And there were way more than one of these trades today. Way more than one. So, today, Yeah, I'm a little aggravated with today because I'm only up $66. I don't know. I mean, it's one of my better green days because I have been adjusting my rules and pushing the accelerator on the green days, but uh everything nearly worked out that I suspected would, so it does frustrate me. That one's hard to not cry over. And then DLTR, those that were in the morning chat this morning for the day trading live stream, I put an order out on that morning spike, and that one faded off of that. IBRX was absolutely beautiful hangover as well. Oh my God. It's brutal. Brutal not to be involved with these. Brutal not to be involved with these. Especially when I was looking for them. Man, I literally was looking for these. But is what it is. Is what it is. But we'll have some setups come Monday, so I'm optimistic about that. And we're trading well, managing the risk well. Kevon and I were discussing it earlier. It's you gotta focus on taking L's. So here's an issue with having a high percentage win rate. You're like, what the hell is the issue with having a high percentage win rate? There's nothing. There is. Listen up. The problem with it is you almost nearly feel like you can't take a loser. And so what you'll do is losers add to losers. You start sizing into it a little bit today. And you... let me know if you guys experience the same emotion. Like, it's so much more relaxing on the emotions to size into a loser because this is something, look, I'm being an open book here. Because your average is getting better. You know, when you size into a winner, your average is getting worse. And so that's something I've been going back and forth with here recently. Obviously, today, sizing into the winners would have been massive on these hangover setups, like especially the CNXC going straight down would have been massive. You know, sizing into this as a winner, just hitting it pretty much on the bid. That's something that kills me too. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I've been so disciplined with not smacking the bid because I feel like I'm chasing. And on some of these tickers, it almost seems like it would be best to just smack the bid. Muhammad, you smashed QNTM, hit it pretty good. Mr. George, PRTG, QNTM, and Blue After Hours. Okay, good. Yeah, I saw all that other than Blue. PRTG, I was like nearly short on this as well with you against pre-market highs. That was an awesome setup. 13. Fell down to 10. So, God, even 100 shares, $4, $400. Just unbelievable. Blue, let me look at that one. Blue After Hours. Blue After Hours, that one. Spike up into the zombie hour with the sell-off, with the spike back up. You know, we've been seeing these Wild Wild West kind of moves on some of these tickers. But when I say, guys, you know, I'm going to make sure you guys are consistent. I'm going to teach you guys the unpopular things that are profitable. I'm not holding back. So most of the gurus out there, they're focusing on the low float penny stocks like every single day. Buy them, buy the breakouts, yada, yada. I do not focus that because I care about your accounts. I really do care about your accounts. Drink break. I almost care more about consistency sometimes than I even do being green. Well, not being green, being the money. Because the money's a byproduct of being what? Consistent. Yeah, MG, I'm in a decent mood tonight. Had a couple good setups. It's all about understanding the risk involved with each individual ticker. That's what I'm going to say. and I'll post this, and I posted this. Most think that consistency it involves just like learning about patterns and seeing patterns develop, and it's like, okay, next time I can go all in essentially on this setup. I'm telling you guys, the consistency is in your mind. It's not in the market. It's in your mind. All right? I stopped out near the top on TMC, 206 or 7 there. That one aggravating. Ended up being a Head and Shoulders pattern. Okay, so here's a good example. Head and Shoulders pattern. Head and Shoulders, I'm not referring to the shampoo, I'm referring to the stock pattern. But some, and me traditionally in my past, I would just rely entirely on the pattern. So what do we have? TMC, $2 is the shoulders, $2.10 the head. So the neckline is going to be about that 193.4 range. That's when it cracked and snapped all the way down to 170. So in times past, what I would do is say, this has to work. Like, I've recognized this pattern. But I'm telling you guys, there's so many variables, and every single trader that trades the market, they add a variance to the trade. And so essentially, you have to trade the probabilities rather than the certainties. The certainties are non-existent. I'm preaching to the choir. Like, everything I'm telling you guys is because I have blown up doing these exact things. So I'm trying to mitigate that for you so that you don't do it. I'm telling you, the consistency starts in the mind, not in the market. It's not pattern recognition. It's understanding yourself, your own psyche. I'm telling you, it's all mental. It's all mental. Consistency is achieved when you master yourself. You got to understand that risk means more things can happen than will happen. And you can't think on a trade-by-trade basis. So I have witnessed some excellent traders that entirely blow up their account on one trade. They let one trade define their entire day trading career. Sadly. So I'm trying to prevent you guys from doing that. Whereas what they'll do is they will be very consistent year-round. Mr. Jesse spending his Friday night with the Everyday Trading crew. Favorite patterns is the Head and Shoulders here. Yeah, that presented itself TMC today. So guys, I'm telling you, I've pretty much witnessed everything. If you just ask me anything, I've witnessed it. I can tell you a story about it. But I've witnessed very good traders who are consistent year-round that let one trade define their entire trading career because of ego. Letting the ego get in the way. It's all mental. And Jesse's here, who's been trading for a while, so he can attest to this. Trading is all mental. You can have your setups. And I know you like that post I posted about the consistency is achieved when you master yourself, not necessarily the market. I mean, everybody can recognize a damn Head and Shoulders. Everybody can recognize it. That's not the problem. The problem is your entries, your exits, managing the risk well, letting the winners run, which has always been my problem, letting the winners run. So I take half off, let the winners run a little bit more. You got to understand yourself, guys. Like, trading, I don't know how many times I have to say this. You never make it in trading. You're always making it. Never. I'm telling you, dude, the gurus want you to think that there's some threshold that you cross at some point that's like, I've made it. Now I'm a consistent trader and I've made it and I never have to worry about my trades ever again. That's inexistent. It's not happening. It's not true. You're always going to have to focus on your trades. You're always going to have to make it. You never make it, you're always making it. That's the quote. That's going on my tombstone. You guys are going to hear it forever. At least if you want to be a part of the Avery Day Trading crew. You never make it, you're always making it, because you'd never think you're above reproach, that you're above the market. The market prints neutral data. You're the one that doesn't print neutral data. You're the one that prints ego, and I'm going to size into this. I'm adding to this loser. I'm not taking the loss. I'm taking this winner too soon. There's 4 primary fears in trading. I went over this, yesterday or today. It's being wrong, losing money, the fear of missing out, and the fear of letting not leaving profits on the table. That's what it is. Leaving profits on the table. So those are the 4 primary fears. So one of the ones I struggle with is the fear of being wrong. And that's why I have traditionally taken the profits too soon, because I have a fear of being wrong. So QNTM this morning, I've kind of fat-fingered. I meant to take half and took full. So that's what was aggravating here. But 1050, I took it all. I meant to take half. Trust me on that. Meant to take half. I pressed Shift F to take full, and I thought my finger was on H. Shift H to take half. So I took full position off there for the profit. It is what it is. It was a green trade, so I'll be happy with it regardless. But traditionally, I like to leave leftovers because of my emotion of being wrong. Right? So you lock in half. I'm telling you guys, if you struggle with being wrong, this is a fear that ultimately becomes reality if you don't address it. Now, why does it become reality? Because if you have a fear of being wrong, you oftentimes don't see objectively the trends that are set. So if this is cracking support and looking very bearish, but you have a fear of it curling back around and you being wrong on it, then you're going to take profits too early, which is what I do. So a way for me to mitigate that typically is take half off and then kind of, as I say, which I don't, it is what it is. I say gamble with the rest, which the leftover position, which means adjust your risk parameters to at least break even stop on the leftover position, so that way you're going to be green ultimately on that trade. And if it does what QNTM did today, and I had 1133 average, and it drops all the way down to like $8, great. You're very green on the trade. Mr. Jesse's happened to you on the prop accounts before revenge trading is a thing where, yeah, no matter how long you've done this, those emotions don't go away. You still want to revenge trade. The thing is, you kind of just learn what your emotions are telling you. That's what I've said. You never really, the emotions don't go away. I still go on tilt with some of these trades. I get aggravated. Today I was very aggravated that I missed so many trades, and I felt on tilt. And so when those emotions kind of brew up, you just know how to respond to them. For instance, there was Isaiah, who's in the chat usually. He said, this feels scary to get involved in a short on. And then I was like, you know what? That's my signal. Let me get involved with it. Because when things feel scary, that's usually a sign to get involved in the short. But ultimately the amateur traders are feeling scared of missing out. You remember those 4 emotions we just went over, the trading fears. They're usually fearing missing out, and so they buy into it. Yeah, you ended up the live stream while you have a stop at 9:37. What on QNTM? Yeah, I'm not happy with taking all of that 1050. It's that's aggravating. That doesn't pan out when you are red, you know, it's 1 to 1. Essentially I was 1 to 1 here because I was down 50 and then up 50. So I really wish I would have left leftovers on QNTM. I'm pretty aggravated by it. I pressed the wrong damn button, but I took $50 on it, so not gonna complain too much there. Took $50 on that. 30 on CNXC. This wasn't in the live stream, MG. This was later in the day. CNXC, I bought that. So essentially the strategy suggests for my trading, short Euphoria at resistance and buy Fear at support. Yeah, I told myself to be happy with today because I don't know. I just posted this, MG, and I have like such high expectations for myself that I mean, nearly every single day I'm pissed off about something. I don't know. Every single day it's like, man, dude, something could have worked out better. But what did I say? Stop being frustrated with the market. It means you have expectations. These are a mental representation of what you believe is going to happen. So expect the unexpected. Truly embrace the risk, which implies more things can happen than will happen. So you have to set stops. That's why I have a rule. When I enter a trade, I set an OCO order. If I'm in at least full position, I'm going to set an OCO order to make sure risk is managed well. And again, like when I first started trading, like I understood, okay, I'm a trader, so I'm a risk taker inherently, but you have to the weight of it I didn't fully comprehend. I don't think you cannot make any of your trading errors if you truly believe you do not know what's going to happen next. Which is weird. I thought I was actually considering that earlier because I've been doing this for a long time, since like 2016. And I was more cocky initially when I was trading because it's like, man, I recognize this pattern. I just went over that earlier. I recognize a pattern. Nobody else sees it, so I'm going to go all in, essentially. But the longer I've been doing this, the more cautious I've gotten, the more I've accepted the unknown. I still have the signals that present themselves, like the euphoria. I love trading emotions, when buyers are capitulated. So let me go over that trade just real quick. CNXC, I bought this. My entry, and I can show you guys, was at like 54.26, I believe. But it sold off 10 points right down to the 200-day moving average. CNXC, yep, 50. Look at it bouncing right off of that nearly. And I see that so often. Those moving averages, they really do respect those levels. But I'll show you guys my entry. I think it was like 54.26. Yep, CNXC 54.26. Bought 30 shares there. Then sold 15 and sold another 15. Sold 15 leftovers, and I took those up over another point. So that ended up being great. And this difference, it truly does. So where was I going with that? I don't know. Where was I going with that? You have to truly... I was saying, like, you have to truly understand and accept that you don't know what's going to happen. I think the market humbles you enough. The market will humble you. If you have not been humbled by the market, then get prepared. Get prepared. You're going to be humbled. So I think that's why over the years I've traded more cautiously, because I know there's so many variables. And it's weird, right? You have to trade cautious, but you have to trade confidently, and then you have to trade focused and disciplined. Trading involves like ridding yourself of your ego, but also being very confident in your trades. It's mastering yourself. You truly have to master yourself. That's why I like it. And that's why so many people leave day trading, because they recognize so many flaws in themselves. You know, people have huge egos, and the emotions of being wrong, losing money, missing out, leaving money on the table, those are very strong, and they just can't stand it. They cannot stand all those emotions. So you have to trade confidently, discipline, let your winners run like today. Today would have been massive. I teach leave leftovers to work for you, which would have been huge today. CNXC, beautiful hangover. But I want to get into also some of Friday night live stream. So I'm taking the assumption that you guys already have somewhat of an edge, right? I think the most important thing after doing this for nearly 10 years is mindset. Mindset. Everybody recognizes patterns. Mindset is everything. So you recognize a pattern, but you have to understand. You have to know what your exit is, what your risk is, what your profit is, all those areas. So I'm going to review the last couple weeks, because we haven't done a Friday night live stream in a while, and go over some tickers so we can study, review, go over do's and don'ts and things that maybe rules you can apply to your account, maybe some additional things. And I want you guys to understand the magic 20-cent area as well, which I know a bunch of you get tired of hearing about it. I'm sure Jesse does as well, because when I was moderating in his chat room, I went over this all the damn time. But TNXP, look at this one. This is in my folder from the last 2 weeks. This 20-cent area gets hit all the time. Jesse, hit the like button. Appreciate you, man. Jesse in the market has a special way of humbling us. Always does. Anytime you start feeling like Superman is when you will lose your cape. All right, so a few different areas. Oh, Jesse, it's engraved in his DNA. His DNA reads 20 cent. Dude, do you not see it now? I mean, look, I try to preach it because people don't oftentimes see it until it's said. And I don't know of anyone else out there talking about it other than me. So just think of it like this. Like when you buy a certain vehicle, then that's the only vehicle you see out there. Or it's very relatable to that. Like once you see it, you're always seeing it. Like KC this week, 1920s. We see this pop, liquidity grab up over the whole dollar, and it so often hits that 20-cent area. Even this is all last week, and I probably have like 5, 6 plus examples of it. Flipping through to see, but this is just this past week. I think mainly hangovers and euphoric moves into the descending triangle. Well, Kayvon, enlighten us. There's a reason for the 20 cents. Enlighten us. All right, so if you don't have an edge, sorry for that. God, hit the mic. Give me 1 second, guys. So, what is an edge? And God, I look like I'm slouched over. Let me adjust this. All right, what is an edge? We're going to do a full boot camp right now. Look at that, 1620. Magic 20-cent area, 1920s. This is all this past week. Gotta buy Kayvon's course to learn more. All right, if you don't have an edge, and what is an edge? An edge is simply put, this has more likelihood, this has a more probable outcome than the next thing, is essentially what an edge is. This is a more probable outcome. Now, what's important to note is you do not know the distribution of the green versus red trades. You do not know the distribution of the green versus red trades. So, what does that mean? It means you don't know which ones are going to be green or which ones are going to be red. So why go all in on one setup? Let's say over 20 trades, you have 13 or 14 that are green, 7 and 8 that are 6 or 7, 8 that are red. Or, yeah, I mean, honestly, you can have, and I know that more advanced traders know this, you can have a 34% win rate and still be green if your risk to reward ratio is a 3-to-1. Your win rate doesn't have to be that good if you let your winners run for you. But let's just take the assumption that you have more winners than losers. But so the edges, the probabilities are on your side, and you're not trading the certainties. I want to make it very clear that you do not focus on a trade-by-trade basis. This is where I see most amateurs struggle. Most advanced traders can take L's very easily. As in, they understand that they're the house in this scenario, as if this is a casino, and they're not going to win every hand of blackjack. They understand this, but they understand that they're not focused on the hand-by-hand basis. They're focused on the series of hands, the series of trades. And so that's what I would encourage you to focus on if, let's assume you have the edge. Now, if you don't have an edge, my edge, shorting at Euphoria and into resistance, buying for your support. Now, one thing that involves is like this KC trade. Shorting Euphoria, this thing coming up towards the 20 cent area. Now, there's additional variables that you guys can look for, okay? This is more advanced. I'm going to get into a little bit more advanced section. So, this is an advanced course right here. You have your pocket pair ace setups. And then you can have your pocket deuces, which you might want to apply some risk and put some risk, put some chips on the table. Let's just assume you're at the poker table. You might want to put some chips on the table for pocket deuces, but not a lot. But if you get pocket aces, you may want to apply a little bit more risk. So that is essentially what we're seeing with trading. And trading's unique in that we see the patterns develop, and then we put our chips on the table. And then we apply our risk and put our money into the machine. With slots, for instance, you put your money in, and then you see what happens. You see if there's any patterns that develop post entry of money. But with trading, it's unique in that we see these patterns develop. So one of the patterns that's fairly recognizable that I like to teach is a euphoric move up towards, up and over the whole dollar, up towards the 20-cent area into a descending triangle, which is forming lower highs. Volumes lightening up, it's getting squeezed tighter to support, and then it snaps, cracks, and rolls. So that's something to be mindful of. This Mr. Jesse's favorite pattern, LMND, Lemonade. This is all from the last couple of weeks. I don't entirely recall if I even took a trade on this or not. Usually I don't even recall the day of what I traded. I just trade the signals. That's pretty much it. LMND, this one head and shoulders pattern. Pretty much the neckline is at 38.50. VWAP. Shoulders at 39. So, what I want to talk about here, at least my struggle sometimes with this, is a fear of being wrong. We went over those fears. Fear of being wrong would suggest to me that, this pattern is not, it's invalidated. It may bounce off of VWAP and curl back around to reclaim the highs. But trade the damn chart, Kevin. Trade the damn chart. The chart suggests what this is. Volume is lining up. It's a head and shoulders against 38.50 neckline. Snaps that. I mean, in hindsight, guys, dude, hindsight trading is a thing. It really is. All right, let me catch up on chat. I've never heard of that, Kayvon. 20 cent is their round number, not the whole dollar area. Haven't heard that before. 39.20 was resistance here. Neckline 38.50, snapped and faded. But always, guys, look left of the chart. Again, I'm going to do everything in my capability to make sure you guys are consistent. Everything. So if you're just now tuning in, go back and watch this live stream. We've gone over a lot of stuff. GTLB, morning spike into a fade, which was very similar to Dollar Trade DLTR this morning. Hangover, spike into a fade. God, I look for that every single day. I had my order out, Kayvon. I had my order out. Is that not the most annoying thing? Should I just, smack the bid? But it had, a 40-cent spread, and it dropped that one 7 points throughout the day. But you guys see the patterns that are developing here. The euphoric moves into a descending triangle, lower highs created against support. If you don't have an edge, this could be your edge. I'm just throwing that out there. You could short into the euphoric move up against resistance into the lower highs, descending triangle, risk over the high day, and let her fade. Let her rip, tater chip. So we see descending triangles pretty much daily. We see euphoric moves, and they'll do this. I mean, this is just the last couple weeks of trades, guys. I have folders with tons and tons and tons of charts. So this is just the last couple of weeks. I want to prep for you guys for this Friday night live stream. But Mo, this one had a descending triangle as well. Opened up into a level of momentum was Mo, but it formed the lower high. So these things, you can see that they have clear lower highs and a very clear support as well before they just sell off and continue their fade on. I mean, I didn't draw this out, but this one's a descending triangle as well against the previous close, which I suggest you guys throw in your charts as well. Previous close being 66.04, snap and fade. So many, dude. I have so many charts here, descending triangle, snap and fade. Give me a second, guys. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Been rambling a lot. I need a little sip of water. But welcome to the green team. If you guys are new here, we trade live every single morning. And most of the team here is very, very green. So these euphoric moves up into the descending triangle pattern, DT, which forms the lower highs, and against that bottom support. But there are a few things you want to look for. Like you want to look for the weakening of volume, the lowering of volume there. And I mean, that's what we saw with QNTM today. MG and I were trading that. MG and I were trading that. I can take a look at that again. Man, these damn hangovers, dude. Today, Kevon, I'm so glad to have made a new rule on the account to not stop on quota. That's just, I can't get over how dumb that was. That's kept me from some good winners. It's really kept me from some good winners. I think it's just multifaceted in that since I've been doing this for a while, like I do trust myself to trade the signal, and I do trade it very well. If you have not been doing this for a while, then maybe you should have a quota that you stop on, especially if you overtrade and revenge trade. But I don't struggle with those. Like, my struggle is very clear. My struggle has been not letting my winners run. Okay, Mr. George, I usually try to ride the upward momentum in low flow stocks at the pre-market. I use the 5 EMA. So what were you riding this morning? Maybe something that we can look at. But I was going to show you guys QNTM, and I don't remember what I was going to show you here. But anyways, this tapped resistance for me up here at 1245. I had a 1260 stop on this. This got damn scary for me because I almost stopped out at the top. Something I've been doing a lot recently is lowering my size and applying widening the risk a little bit, especially the last couple weeks, because we've been seeing a lot of these lower float tickers especially with the high percentage on their short float after MLGO. MLGO has created a hell of a week, really. MLGO, that one had a high percentage of the short float, and still, even today, this one has just been up and freaking down. Up and down, up and down, up and down. I mean, it's just no chill in MLGO. But there's been so much sympathy off of it. So we've been seeing a lot of moves try to sustain themselves. But something that I've been noting, because you have to understand how traders operate. If they see MLGO going straight up from $1 up to $20, then longs are going to instinctually snorted there. Sorry. Instinctually. Gotta love longs. Oh, man. I used to be a long bias trader back in the day. Longs become baggies. So they see this MLGO, this ticker with like $2 in the, it's priced at, and then this thing goes up to 40% of the short interest on the float, and then everything becomes a long thereafter. Oh, man. everything for them becomes along thereafter. But for those of us that do our homework, not everything is along thereafter. The problem is, what I find humorous, and it's really not humorous. Okay, I'm assuming you guys have traded for a little while, so we can have some fun with this, all right? Because we've all blown up accounts. They're buying these things at the damn top, and they have absolutely no risk, and so they're just deer in the headlights. You know, buying QNTM at 12.45 and deer in the headlights and just holding and hoping, you know, the paralysis by analysis. So, yeah, RIP. And especially you got to look at the short interest on the float. That's what I've been doing because that's what we've been seeing the last week after MLGO. So I'll take a look at it. QNTM, it didn't have a lot. I think it was nearly nothing, actually. I mean, let's look right now. I think it was like 2 or 3%. And when I see that, initially I'm just thinking, okay, we have a lot of longs in this name that are trying to cause a squeeze that is not there. This is not MLGO. We don't have 40% short interest on the float. So all the longs are trying to emulate MLGO when it's not there. So me being an idiot pressed the wrong button at 10.50 and took profits. But Mr. MG, I have visitors at my home today, but I kept the ear pods in my ear. I kept hearing you repeating that you were waiting on QNTM at 12, so you short at the same time with me. Nice. Yeah. Well, I hope you applied risk to it. I mean, I did like 12.20 a lot. Mainly being that it actually had tested that area not too long ago. So when you have a ticker that has... Usually it takes time. So if a ticker was just up here and then fell all the way back down, it's popping right back up to $12, $12.20, where you see all these upper shadows. Normally that's going to be an inevitable area of resistance because, again, you're going to have longs that are holding and hoping here and praying this thing curls back around and then they can get out for a nearly break-even trade. So that creates an inevitable area of resistance, which... I mean, it tapped that perfectly, nearly. I mean, I almost got stopped out on it. I have to apply risk. Really have only taken the bigger L's in the last couple weeks because I have stopped out right at the top. So that's very aggravating, but you have to apply risk. These Friday night live streams are fun, though. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you. Smack that like button for the support. And we'll go for a few more minutes, maybe 10 more minutes or so. Let me know if you have anything you want me to look over. But I'm going to make sure you guys are squared away. So today, TMC I was looking for on the short. Stopped out of that one at the damn top. Beautiful head and shoulders there and fade. I don't like revisiting all this. It's aggravating. DLTR had an order out at, I don't know, 77 or 78, somewhere up in this spike and didn't get hit. But that had like a 30-40 cent spread, and I just did not want to smack the bid like that. I just did not want to smack the bid like that. Need to look at today and see if there's anything to throw on my watch list for Monday morning. But today was fun. I mean, my kids were out of school. I had to take them to the doctor. My 5-year-old son was babysitting for me today for an hour or two and had a actually decent day. So we need more of that. I'm flipping through to see what I can add for Monday morning. I'm gonna go through the few of these tickers. Yeah, a couple people ask, do I trade with CMAG, C Pro? Because they always see TOS, but I just use Look how fast TOS is. I got the scanners as well as the charts, and it's just so fast. It's and not a lot of tickers that are providing a decent setup today. So for Monday morning, I guess we'll see what's going to pop off come Monday morning. I'm gonna look at the gainers again. But yeah, we'll wrap up here soon, guys. Appreciate you all being a part of the green team. Gonna keep this train running. Yeah, not much here. Let's look at pre-market gainers. Yeah, I see that, BLUE. I'll throw that down on the watch list. It's one of the only ones I'm seeing that's up. But yeah, guys, if you're just now tuning in, go back and watch this whole live stream. Went over a lot. A lot of good stuff. But Monday, dude, we're gonna trade and trade well. So again, like the flaw I've had has been not trading more, really. I mean, I know that's counterintuitive to what most people think. It's like, don't trade more, but for me, it's like I know what I'm trading. I'm not over trading. I've been doing this long enough that I take my signal. I'm not over trading. I wait for my setup and I take it. You just have to trust yourself with that. And I was just wanting to be green because I have the fear of being wrong. Those 4 fears, I have the fear of being wrong. And so I like to just take my winner and go about my day rather than taking all the signals. So George may have a continuation setup buyout offer on blue. All right, we'll monitor that for Monday. But guys, any questions at all before we wrap up this Friday night live stream? This was a good one. Fun. We went over a lot. Tonight. Thank you for spending your Friday night with me. You could have been doing it. Could have been spending your Friday night with anybody else. But you guys decided to spend it with the green team. Jesse, I appreciate the shout out on Twitter. You guys decide to spin it with the green team. So remember, trading is not about certainties, it's about probabilities. I try to remind myself of that every morning when I step into the office because I, like everyone else, I have a human nature and I see setups that I really love and can easily fall in love with, but should not. I've blown up accounts before because I've fallen in love with setups, and it's just a ticker. Tickers are not loyal. They're not loyal. I call tickers strippers. They ain't loyal. Don't marry them. Because, honestly, like the ones I take an L on, I forget about them, a few hours later. So, just don't marry any tickers. Take your setup as day traders. Take a piece of the pie. Move on to the next setup. Never marry, never oversize and over leverage on any particular setup. That's what will get you in trouble. Remember, don't think on a trade by trade basis. Think on a more probabilistic, mindset where you're not thinking where you're thinking more of a series, less of a trade by trade basis. So, yeah, that's gonna do it, guys. I think we've gone over pretty much everything we can. If you can learn to create a state of mind that's not affected by the behavior of the market, the struggle will cease to exist. Change your expectations. You can, I'm going to repeat that because you guys need to hear it. Don't click off of this video and go watch some, whatever else you guys got going on. Listen to this. If you can create a state of mind that's unaffected by the behavior of the market, the struggle will cease to exist. What does that mean? It means you have no expectations. I mean, you see your setups, right? You have your edge, you see your setups, but you don't have an expectation because you understand there's nuances and variables in trading. And there's different traders involved with every single setup. So you have to eliminate the ego. You got to eliminate thinking on a trade-by-trade basis and think on the probabilities. If you can learn to truly accept the risk, guys, it's going to have huge implications on your trading account. I'm telling you. I'm truly telling you. It's going to have huge implications on your trading account. I didn't quite understand that. I'm telling you, I did not quite understand that. And for doing this for so long. And honestly, I'll throw this in there for free. I've always preached experience is your best teacher. As in, I've been in every chat room, so you can be in every chat room and learn how they trade, yada, yada. But it's not about learning how to trade. They all teach you it's about how to trade. Like seeing this setup, seeing that setup. I'm telling you guys, this is not popular, but it's profitable. It's not about what you see outside of yourself. It's about what you see within yourself. Trading is all about what you see within. Your mind has to be stronger than your emotions every single day you trade. You have to step into the market and understand that you'll take your signals, but you ultimately don't know what's going to happen. And risk means that more things can happen than will happen. You will take your signals that over the majority of the long run, the time, they work out. But this specific trade, you don't know what's going to happen. And that's okay, because guess what? You don't need to know what's going to happen on this specific trade to make money. You don't need to know what's going to happen on that trade. Because ultimately, you don't know over a distribution of trades which ones are going to be green and which ones are going to be red. You just know your higher probability setups. And the edge suggests that you're going to be green over the long run, not based on individual trades, but based over a cumulative sum. So let's stop thinking on a trade-by-trade basis and think on a sum. So who cares what's going to happen on one damn trade? Stop putting all your damn chips on one trade. I'm telling you, I've blown up enough accounts doing that. So I'm telling you guys because I'm telling you this because I can create the blueprint for your success. Ultimately, you're the one that's going to have to build the house. I can create the blueprint. I promise you I can do that. And I want to do that for you. All right. My mouth is getting dry. I'm going to get some more bourbon. All right, let me catch up. What bourbon you got? Right now, I'm drinking some Benchmark Full Proof. It's a Buffalo Trace product. I'm about to get something else, though. Mr. George, it's been a lovely day so far. Thank you. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. And Jesse, love it. Come in each with no expectations. Absolutely. And that's very difficult to do. Every single day, I try to retrain my mind, or like reprogram my mind when I enter the trading day, because trust me, I got an ego, and like everybody else, and we all do, and we all think we know more than the next person when we've been doing this for a while. But you have to humbly approach the market and say, I don't know what's going to happen next, but this is my signal, so I'm going to take it. And a higher percentage of the time than not, it's going to work out. But if it doesn't this time, that's A-okay. I'm not going to just size into it and let my ego trade it. All right. BRB. Let me know if you guys have any questions, anything you want me to go over. I'm gonna top my cup off. I'll be right back. Yeah, guys, I think that's gonna wrap up the night. We had a good Friday night live stream. I think we've gone over plenty. My kitty cat wants to make his debut. Alright, guys. Yeah, email me, averydaytrading@gmail.com, if you have any questions. Thank you for being a part of the green team. We're going to keep it green come Monday morning. But we all struggle with something, right? Don't think that you don't have an uphill battle that you face. My two emotions that I face are the fear of being wrong, fear of losing money. And the other two are fear of missing out and leaving profits on the table. So identify your uphill battle and address it so that we can identify and overcome it. But trades, that's going to wrap up the Friday night live stream. Love you guys. I'm going to do everything I can to help you guys reach profitability. You will. You're in the right place. You're in the right place. I'm not speaking out of arrogance, but maybe I am. I don't know. Shit. Maybe I am. This is the place to be. Yeah, Jesse, have a good night. Have a good night, guys. Thank you for tuning in on your Friday night. You could have been anywhere else. You guys decided to tune in here. Let's keep it green. Keep that train rolling. We will see you guys Monday morning.